It seems a day doesn't go by without the launch of yet another new electric car, especially as we get closer to a time where you're only going to be able to buy vehicles with zero emissions. And that's a big deal for drivers that are used to petrol, diesel and hybrid cars. How do you choose what is right for you today? Peugeot has asked us to talk through the differences between an electric car and a hybrid one to help make the decision-making process easier. There are many types of hybrid cars on sale today using various amounts of electrification. And in fact, most new petrol and diesel engines do use some electrical assistance, even if they're not marketed as hybrids. For the purposes of this video, we're driving what is known as a mild hybrid. It can recover energy when you slow down and use that to assist the engine later on. But what we're saying here applies to any car that uses liquid fuel and doesn't plug in. And right away, we have the number one indisputable advantage of cars that use liquid fuels. This 3008 crossover, for example, can in theory go up to 1,000 kilometers on a tank of petrol. But nobody talks about that, nobody focuses on the range. And that's because the refilling network of stations is so well established that you never need to think about where the next refill is going to happen. And of course, when it does come time to fill up, the process takes only a few minutes. Rarely is there a significant delay waiting for others to finish at the pumps. In comparison, the public EV charging network is in its infancy, and while it is improving all the time, we regularly hear from frustrated drivers that it isn't quite good enough. Of course, half the issue is that EVs take longer to charge up in the first place. Now, if you spend most of your day pounding up and down the motorways of Ireland to places to be and people to see, you're probably listening to all this and you've already made your mind up. With the vast majority of drivers, they wouldn't use the average range on an electric car in a week, never mind a day. And once you realise how little distance you cover in your car, long-range EVs seem a little excessive. Though obviously we wouldn't argue with the comfort taken from having more range than you generally need. That leads us on to one of the plus points of EVs, and that's home charging. Get yourself a home charger, and there's still a grant available for that, and odds are you'll never need to worry about how good or otherwise the public charging network is. Park up at night, plug the car in, and you wake up in the morning and it's fully charged for the day. What's more, most EVs come with the ability to cool or heat their cabins to a desired temperature by the time you want to depart, meaning the car is comfortable from the moment you get in. No more de-icing windows in your dressing gown in January. Charging an EV up at home is the cheapest way to run it, especially if you maximise off-peak electricity. Do that and your cost per kilometre will be much lower, even when compared to an efficient hybrid. This, however, is only an advantage if you have off-street parking where you can install a charger. People living in rented accommodation or apartments or anywhere else there isn't dedicated parking may have to rely on the public charging network, and that is more expensive and of course less convenient. All this may tip the balance back towards cars with liquid fuels for many. Fuel is only one part of the running cost equation, of course. EVs are the cheapest cars to tax, and they come with lower maintenance bills than petrol and diesel engined cars, hybrid or not. Until recently, however, electric cars are more expensive to buy than their petrol and hybrid equivalents. It is changing rapidly, and Peugeot, for example, offers the mild hybrid and electric 3008 at roughly the same price. You just choose the one that suits your preference and your lifestyle. For more buyers than ever, electric power is a good solution, but rest assured there'll be plenty of non-electric options available for quite some time yet.